Right. Hey everyone, I'm Klloo. Welcome to another installment of Insane but Technically Possible, this time featuring Briar. So, we have a 9-card combo, right? 3, 8, yeah, a 9-card combo to go over today. And spoiler, it is the most insane combo so far. It is also the highest damage combo so far, which I probably spoiled with the title, but irregardless, right? How did this all start? Well, Daniel Ferreira messaged me on Discord at the start of the week, and I was super excited, right? With Rosetta coming out, I want to look for combos for all 4 new heroes. Problem is, Runeblade and Wizard are by far the classes I have the least experience with. So the fact that he brought Briar to my attention, he sent me a really good starting list for a combo that was already insane, already doing an insane amount of damage, but more importantly had the choice cards to figure out 4 combos. I went, fantastic, right? This is the jumpstart I need going to Rosetta to actually dive in and find all the hidden gems. And we both went to work. He went down the Blossoming Spellblade route, right? Recycling a whole bunch of cards, building up Flicker Wisp, doing, again, an insane amount of damage. I went down the Ball Lightning route, also doing an insane amount of damage. And then this happened. And let's just get into it and show you how insane it is. So, set up nice and easy. It's just an Energy Potion. Now, obviously, the deck would have to be empty, so that actually makes it a bit more difficult to pull off, but also with Rosetta, who knows, there might be a really healthy Earth package for Fatigue Briar in Living Legend to then pull something like this off. But let's get into it nonetheless. So, crack the Energy Potion, get our 2 resources, and then we're going to put into play Caution, right? So that is now going to allow us to generate a resource every time we reveal a card. That's why we have the Pulse of the Candlehold to count as our Earth and Lightning cards. They're nice and simple. We go Force of Nature, right? We reveal a card, we gain a resource, we Force of Nature, reveal a card, gain a resource, but the fact that it's our second non-attack action means we get the embodiment of Lightning, meaning that we can now play Rites of Replenishment with Go Again. So we're going to play Rites of Replenishment. Currently, it is basically doing nothing. Don't worry, we're just putting in the graveyard. More importantly, it is going to trigger Force of Nature thanks to its initial proc, right? We have both the Fuse mechanic, which is the next attack gains +1, and also if an attack you control has greater than its base, draw a card. So we're going to end up drawing 2 cards thanks to this Rite of Replenishment, as well as stack up some extra resources. So it hits, goes to the graveyard, we're going to break the chain, right? And now the next cycle, we have Fulminate and Rites of Replenishment. Since we have the resources built up, we can play Fulminate. Now, this is where my knowledge goes a little bit shoddy, right? I don't know if it's meant to mechanically work like this. I believe the AND cards, right, where a card is AND, so you have to reveal both Earth and Lightning, or Lightning and Ice, or Earth and Ice, right, would only proc Caution once, but because we're doing 2 different instances, maybe it is meant to work as Teleshare has it coded, where we get to reveal twice and therefore generate 2 resources. Either way, again, another Energy Potion would make up the difference. An extra card in hand would make up the difference, both insanely easy to do. But since we have the 2 resources now, we can play Rites of Replenishment once again, now with Fulminate active. So Fulminate gives it Go Again, perfect, and also gives it +3, meaning that it's still going to trigger the Force of Nature and draw 2 more cards, which is very impactful because we play Rites of Replenishment. We then use Pulse to fuse it, again, gain a resource. So it's still at 1. We get to cycle 1 Rites of Replenishment back to our deck. And then thanks to Force of Nature, when this hits, we draw 2 more cards. From here, we can play Flicker Wisp, right? We can fuse it, we can gain a resource, now back to 2, and then we can play Rites of Replenishment. Rites of Replenishment gets fused, we gain another resource, it then recycles a Rites of Replenishment and a Flicker Wisp. It hits, they both draw, we break the chain, we play Flicker Wisp once again, fuse it, get our resources back, and if you didn't realize it yet, this is infinite. This is a infinite damage combo as Briar, right? It's just these 2 cards till the end of time, or I get bored, which is probably going to happen first, right? They have Go Again because of Fulminate. They're always drawing 2 cards, so always drawing them back. We don't have to manually break the chain either, because Flicker Wisp, when we play that, will do it. Flicker Wisp in itself is going to ramp its damage as we continue along, right? Because it has, if it's fused, until the end of turn, action card effects you control that deal arcane damage, instead deal that match +1, which means it's going to continuously buff itself, because it itself deals 1 arcane damage. So yeah, it will ramp slowly, but again, it is infinite. We will always have enough resources to do exactly what we need to do, barring again the 1 Fulminate card, where I'm a bit iffy on whether or not Caution is meant to work like that, if you're only meant to get 1 trigger or 2. If it's only 1 trigger, again, an extra Energy Potion, an Amulet of Ignition, 1 extra card in hand. So many easy, feasible ways to, again, get over that 1 resource difference. Heck, I don't have a chess piece. Blossom of Spring, done. right? And then still into this infinite cycle of gaining resources, recycling 2 cards, an attack action and non-attack action, right? Playing Flicker Wisp, ramping the damage, again, gaining the resources back, and continuing to play Rites of Replenishment. Again, all without having to stack my hand with extra cards, right? Just 9, right? It was 9 cards. 9 cards. We'll count well, either Tunic or Blossom of Spring. So a 10-card combo for infinite damage, right? Briar is now number 1. Yeah? Get out of the way, Kano. Right? Your damage is immense, sure, but it's not infinite. Briar's damage is now infinite, right? There was also a bunch of other cool interactions that I'm kind of sad, right? They're not included in this anymore, because again, this is the highest damage version of Briar, and we both had full, 80 card lists that were doing 4,000 plus damage. It was glorious, but all those interactions, all those mechanics are overshadowed by, again, just 2 cards that you can play infinitely. Yeah, well, I think we'll leave it there, right? Again, every time you play Flicker Wisp, it's doing 1 extra damage, so it's doing 1 plus the sum of Flicker Wisps that you have played. Rites of Replenishment itself is doing 6. You can, make this grosser if you wanted, right? Sting of Sorcery would then amplify the Flicker Wisp. You could do, like, Flash Freeze, a Ball of Lightning. We can't do Ball of Lightning. Ball Lightning, because we're breaking the chain. But, yeah, it's infinite. There's nothing else really to say. It's an infinite damage combo. Briar is now the highest damage for all classes. This is, I believe, the first infinite combo. I did a little Google, couldn't find anything. I think Bolton was the closest with Spears of something. Bolton is another hero I don't really have much experience with. But there you go. Infinite damage as Briar. Maybe we'll go through the lesser combos at this point, right? But setting them up and playing it and working out mechanically how to run a 80 card deck versus 10 cards is a little bit more time consuming. So this was good. Yeah. Concede. And we only ended up doing 73 damage, but again, right? It's 6 plus 1 plus the amount of Flicker Wisp before it. So all of you math heads out there, right? How many cycles you need to do 2 billion damage, right? I think that's higher than Kano can reach, right? And for those of you interested, here's the list. 9 cards, right? Again, depending how Fulminate works, just chuck in a Blossom of Spring and you're golden. Extra card, or any of the ways to start with extra cards in your hand. Also worth noting, again, Blossoming Spellblade to recycle other things, or Flash Freeze for extra damage, right? So if it's fused, attacks you control, if they hit, deal an extra 3 damage, or Force of Nature, again, add a 3rd one in, draw 3 cards. Then you can go a bit more exponential. Sting of Sorcery, also adding damage, adding scaling to the Flicker Wisp. Worth noting, right? Aurora, at the very least, has access to the Flicker Wisp package that me and Daniel Ferreira were looking at, right? So Aurora might be very similar. At least stacking up Flicker Wisp for a ton of damage still works, right? You can still use Fulminate, you can still use the Go Again portion of that. You can give all your attacks Go Again, because it's not a dual fusion, it's one or the other, right? And it's elemental. So, yeah. Lightning and maybe Earth has something to it, but Earth lacks the Force of Nature and the Go Again. The Earth is, well, was it Viridance? Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with spoilers because I want to be spoiler-free going into box openings. Well, not spoiler-free because obviously I've seen some cards, but less than usual, right? Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah.